Picture yourself, 17 years old, nighttime, walking down the highway on the way to your mom's house, and somebody calls in to the police on a welfare check on you, even though you're not doing anything wrong. The officer pulls up, and instead of doing a welfare check on you, the officer ends up shooting you 4 times. And after that officer shoots you 4 times, that officer does nothing to come over there and check on you and leave you laying on the ground for 3.5 minutes. And during this time, the officer is just yelling at you to put your hands up and for you not to move. You're screaming in pain. You're hurting. You want the pain to go away. You know you've just been shot 4 times, and you know there's a chance that you may not make it out this situation, so you're scared, you're fearful. Remember, you was on the way to your mom's house, and now you're thinking about your mom at the same time because you was just on the way to see your mom, and now you got to think about that you might not see your mom again. And then this officer comes back after 3.5 minutes and then shoots you 11 to 15 more times. 11 to 15 more times. Because that's what happened to Elijah Hadley. That young man was walking down the highway, minding his own business, doing nothing wrong to anybody. When this officer pulls up, this officer shoots him 4 times. Elijah Hadley yells out, "Hey, this is just a BB thing that I have on me." And the officer doesn't go over there and grab the BB thing or anything like that. He doesn't check on Elijah Hadley. He doesn't do anything to follow protocol. Instead, he digs around his truck to make it look like he's looking for a med pack and everything, in which he's not. And then he gets that med pack, and then he still doesn't go over there to check on Elijah Hadley. And instead of going right directly to Elijah Hadley, where he could have went from the passenger side of his vehicle, he runs all the way around the back of his vehicle to make it take even longer because he wanted this young man to die. He didn't want this young man to live. And then he goes over there and looks at this young man, and he takes the opportunity to shoot this young man 11 to 15 more times, even though he knows this young man can't do anything to harm him, as this young man has already been bleeding on his ground for 3.5 minutes. Imagine being shot 4 times. You know how much blood you're going to lose within 3.5 minutes? You think you're going to be able to move, especially as far as enough where Elijah Hadley had tossed that little BB thing, and he didn't show that thing in a threatening way or anything like that, or to harm nobody or nothing like that, and you can tell that in the video. Imagine being a 17-year-old's mom and getting a call that your son has been shot and you'll never be able to see your child again. Imagine that 18th birthday coming up in a few months where you would have been able to see your child become an adult. Imagine that Christmas coming up that year, and now the holidays is coming up. Imagine Thanksgiving just went by and you had to spend your first Thanksgiving without your child. Or imagine being a sister and or a niece. And imagine your uncle not coming home or your brother not coming home. You're not able to see him for his 18th birthday. You're not able to see him for the holiday. Imagine being his niece and you're not able to see your uncle coming home to help you to smile no more, to bring you laughs, to bring you joy no more. Imagine. And if you put yourself in the shoes of Elijah Hadley and his family, there's no way you're not going to demand justice for Elijah Hadley. And I find it funny that none of these news stations has picked up, none of these big news stations has picked up his story. But if Elijah Hadley had black skin on him, as if it was mine, we know for 100% fact, CNN would have been blasting this all over the world. But since Elijah Hadley is Native American, they don't seem to want to care. Now, how is that true equality, even for us as black brothers and sisters? For us to ignore the fact that they not putting other people on the news when something wrong like this happened to them, but they put it all over the news when it happened to us. When it's black brothers and sisters, they gonna put it on the news, whether they give us justice or not. We can't say what they gonna do, but we know one thing for sure they gonna do is talk about it and make sure everybody knows what is going on. Why isn't that happening for Elijah Hadley? Because this was a 17-year-old young man, and this man deserved to be able to have his national news story. His family deserved to have that national news story where everybody knows what's happening to him, that everybody knows what they're going through. They'll never be able to see their nephew, uncle, son again. Never. Imagine if this was you. Imagine if it was your brother, your cousin, or somebody that was directly close to you. You would care. And we need people to stop and care and scream out justice for Elijah Hadley. It's been 6 months since this young man's been unalived, and they're still trying to stall it out and make it seem like they don't want to get this young man justice. They seen that video just as well as we seen that video, and if you haven't seen the video, go check it out. It's pinned on my channel. I will issue a heartbreaking warning because it is hard to watch that video. It is very hard, and those that have already watched it, I know you probably can't watch it again. It's that hard of a video to watch. And everybody in the world needs to know Elijah Hadley's name.